Hello everyone. In this video, let us learn about the modern periodic table, or which is also known as long form of periodic table. British chemist Henry Moseley carried out X-ray spectrophotometric studies of atoms, and he calculated the number of positive charges in an atom. The number of positive charges, nothing but the protons in an atom of an element, is called as atomic number denoted by Z. Moseley realized that this number of protons, nothing but the atomic number, is more fundamental in carrying out the studies on elements than the atomic weights. So based on that, he has proposed a law. See, here you are having a diagram which shows the nucleus in the center surrounded by electrons which revolve in a confined path known as orbit. According to Moseley's periodic law, which we call it as modern periodic law, states that the physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic numbers. They are the periodic functions of their atomic numbers. See, based on Moseley's law, he has prepared a periodic table which is known as long form of periodic table. Later, he has come to know that atomic number indicates not only the number of protons but also the number of electrons. So the physical and chemical properties of elements depends on number of electrons and their arrangement of electrons in an atom. That is nothing but the electronic configuration. So later he has come to know that the physical and chemical properties also depends on the number of electrons and their arrangement around the in an atom, okay, around the nucleus. So based on that, he has revised the modern periodic law, which states that the physical and chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their electronic configuration. So here you should know what is electronic configuration. Electronic configuration is nothing but the arrangement of electrons around the nucleus in an atom, right? So this electronic configuration denotes the properties, physical and chemical properties of the elements. Now coming to modern periodic table. See, as like Mendeleev's periodic table, modern periodic table also consists of groups and periods. Here 118 elements are arranged in a increasing order of their atomic numbers. Here they consist of 18 vertical columns known as groups and 7 horizontal rows known as periods. The periodic table is divided into 4 blocks based on the differentiating electrons entry into the subshell. So if the differentiating electron enters into a particular subshell, then that particular atom belongs to that particular block. See, we are having 4 blocks: S, P, D, F block elements. See, I have studied about these S block, S orbital, P orbital, D orbital, and F orbital in your atomic structure of atom chapter. Now let us know what are S block elements and what are P block elements. See, if the differentiating electron, that means the last electron, like you can see the example of this 3s, this is the last electron of sodium, and 2s2, this is the last electron, and 3p1, this is the last electron of aluminum. So based on the entry of this last electron into an atom, the atom's position in the periodic table will be decided. See, if the last electron enters into s orbital or s subshell of an atom, then it will be kept in S block elements. That means all the elements in which the differentiating electron means the last electron enters into S orbital or S subshell, then such elements are grouped under S block elements. Here sodium and beryllium are the examples where 3s1, the electron the last electron has entered into S subshell of third shell. And in the case of beryllium, the last electron has entered into S subshell of second shell. So therefore these two belongs to S block. Next, coming to aluminium. Aluminium and carbon. See, these are p block elements. Why they are p block elements? Because if you look at the last differentiating electron, they are in the p subshell. So therefore these belongs to p block elements. And next is scandium and iron. In these also you can see the differentiating electron has entered into d subshell. So therefore these are known as d block elements. Next, cerium is also an F block element. Cerium is an F block element because in this cerium the last differentiating electron is in F subshell. So therefore cerium is a F block element. So in this way the elements will be divided. The elements are categorized into 4 blocks: S, P, D and F blocks in this modern periodic table. Here let us look into each block separately. So here this is S block with the 2 groups in it. The first group, which is also known as alkali metals, which are also known as alkali metals, and the second group, which are known as alkaline earth metals. These are known as alkali metals because they are first obtained from the plant ash. So therefore these are named as alkali metals. And alkaline earth metals, these are available in the form of oxides in the earth crust. And if you look at these two elements, these two groups, first A group and second A group, these are alkaline in nature. Why? Because the oxides of these elements, if you take the sodium oxide, potassium oxide, or if you take the magnesium oxide and calcium oxide, these oxides on dissolving in water, they give an aqueous solution with basic nature. So therefore they are considered as alkaline elements. These elements are mostly alkaline in nature, and we are having they have mostly metallic in nature. See, if you look at starting from lithium to lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium, and from in the second group, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium. These are mostly metals, very highly reactive metals. Next, let us look into the next block as p block elements. Here, these p block elements are divided into 6 groups, starting from boron family, next carbon family, nitrogen family, chalcogens, halogens, next is inert gases or zero group elements. So why the names are given such, we will look into them. So here boron family, the starting element is boron in this group. So therefore these elements are grouped as, or they are named as, the elements of this group are named as boron family. Boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium, and nihonium. Next, carbon family. The starting element is carbon here. So therefore these group elements are named as carbon family. Here carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, and flerovium. Next is the nitrogen family. The starting element of this group is nitrogen, so therefore they are named as nitrogen family. Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, and moscovium. Next is chalcogen. Here they are named as chalcogens because most of the earths which are available in the earth crust, the most of the metals which are available in the earth crust are in the compound form of oxides and sulfides. So these are forming the ores. So therefore these are known as chalcogens. Chalcogenous means ore forming. So therefore they are known as chalcogens. Oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, and livermorium are of group 12, sorry 16. Next, halogens. Here fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. These are known as halogens because they are salt forming elements. If you look at all the salts which are available in the seawater, sodium chloride, bromide, potassium fluoride or potassium bromide, magnesium chloride, magnesium bromide, potassium iodide, magnesium iodide. All these are the salts. These salts are made of these particular group elements. So therefore they are known as halogens. Next is inert group elements. Why they are known as inert? Because they are very less reactive. We have seen that S block elements are more reactive metals. When we look at the reactivity decreases from S block to P block elements, and here these elements are very inert. Inert means they doesn't show any reactivity with other elements. Most of the elements in the nature, they will be existing in the combined form. That means they are going to react with other elements and they are going to exist in a combined state in the either in the compound form in the nature. But coming to these group elements, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon and oganesson, these are very inert. They doesn't react with other elements, so therefore they are known as inert. They doesn't react. And these are also known as zero group elements because they doesn't have any valence unpaid electrons in their valence shell, so therefore they are known as zero. Their valency is zero. They doesn't show any reactivity. They doesn't form any bond with other elements, so therefore they are known as zero group elements. Okay, this is all about the p block elements. Mostly the p block elements are non-metals. Here, the metallic nature from S block to P block decreases, and very few show slight metallic nature. This boron and aluminum here they show slight metallic nature. So therefore, they are known as metalloids. Next, coming to D block elements. These D block elements are having they are having the differentiating electron in the d subshell, so therefore known as these are grouped under d block elements. If you look at these d block elements, these are mostly metals, and there are around 10 groups here with mostly metallic nature in them. And these d block elements are also known as transition elements. Why? Because the metallic property will be transformed from these elements, and there is a change in the nature of elements. So the properties of S and P block will be reflected in this. So these elements are considered as a transition elements. There is a change, there are the changes, and these changes will be reflected, and there will be a complete differentiation of properties in the S and P block elements. Those will be transformed from these D block elements. So if you look at the metallic nature from scandium, from scandium, as we move to the right side, the metallic nature decreases, and at last the metallic nature in all these groups will be decreasing. That means here these elements will be showing somewhat similarities with that of the p block elements. These elements will be showing somewhat similarities with the s block elements. So these properties are nothing but the transition. These elements are nothing but the transition between S and P block elements. So therefore the D block elements are known as transition elements. Most of the metals which we use nowadays are from these D block elements. Next, let us look into F block elements. See, these F block elements are kept separately in the periodic table, in the bottom of the periodic table. Actually, these belongs to sixth and seventh periods. They belongs to sixth and seventh periods of the periodic table. These are present These actually belongs to the third group, but they are kept separately because they will be occupying in lot of space in the periodic table, and it will be difficult for them to show in the d block. And also their differentiating electron is entering into f orbital, so therefore they are kept separately in a separate block at the bottom of periodic table. Here these are again, there are here two periods here. The elements present next to lanthanum are known as lanthanoids, and the elements present next to actinium are known as actinoids. Why these are known as lanthanoids and actinoids is because the properties of these elements, starting from cerium to lutetium, they reflect the properties of lanthanum. So therefore, mostly they show the reflection in the properties of lanthanum. So therefore, they are known as lanthanoids. And if you look at the elements next to actinium, from thorium to lawrencium, they show the similarities in the properties with the actinium. So therefore, they are known as actinoids. In this way, these two are named as lanthanoids and actinoids. These are also metallic in nature, and mostly the elements in this block are man-made, and they are mostly radioactive elements in this block. Most of the F block elements are radioactive elements. Okay, this is all about the different blocks of periodic table: S block, P block, and D block. So in the next video, let us learn about the properties, periodic properties. Thank you for watching.